Winter solstice blessings. Everybody, members of the light, I come to you very, very unwell. I've had a full week of spinning. It's like someone strapped me onto a waltzer and I haven't been able to get off. And I've been vomiting every day. And this is the first day I kept getting a message from Spirit that the symptoms would ease on the winter solstice. So I'm a bit disoriented and discombobulated, so bear with me, but I felt encouraged. The angels were saying, please just share the message as soon as you feel a day where there's a bit of relief. I want to first appreciate all of you and thank you for being and sharing with me in the ethers in this energy of these massive transformative shifts and starts as we wrap up 2024. Somebody needs to hear this message. I was having these telepathic, channeled, personal conversations with myself and Yeshua, or otherwise in mainstream media known as Jesus. Every so often, Jesus will show up, or I'll call him in. He's worked with me years ago. He is a wonderful healer, and I was asking him to heal the vertigo, to take away the absolute horrific spinning. And I was saying to him, why do I feel like I don't belong sometimes? And he said, well, there was angels as well. I'm very discombobulated, guys. I'm kind of disoriented. The last week has just been a crazy blur in my consciousness, but there was a lot happening in spirit. Trust me, I haven't put all the pieces together yet with these downloads, but when I get better, I'm going to have a lot of content from those downloads. And I do feel it was Spirit's way of getting me to slow down and to listen, because some of the messages personally for me as well were profound, but I think that they're messages that are worth sharing. So I felt I was getting a real tough love from Yeshua, from Jesus. And he said, and this is a message that they really want me to share with you. Why do you think you need to belong somewhere? Why don't you decide who belongs with you? It's like they were pointing out that my perspective was from such a place of lack, like a victim perspective of like this meek little child trying to find a way to connect with my family, or to not feel so much like the scapegoat or the black sheep. And Spirit was like, you get to decide who belongs with you, not the other way around. You come too far into your ascension, into your heightened awareness, to be still in that outdated, very small box of 3D consciousness. You've got to break out of that box. You decide who gets to be part of your life and your circle of light, and that's where you belong. Like, step into your matriarchdom, your queendom. And for some of you, that will be step into your kinghood, right? Your emperor, like in the tarot. And stop playing small. And then I asked about sweetness, because for a long time in my life, there's been this craving for, because I'm quite a sweet person, you know. I wouldn't say, I'm not, maybe sweet isn't the right word, but I'm very affectionate, I'm very emotional, like I'm sensitive, I'm very aware of people I love, their feelings, their emotions, their likes and dislikes. And when you are someone who's pure empath, it can be stressful and hard to be around family or friends or colleagues who just don't have that depth to them and that level of kindness or heart opening. You know, I would see with family members that I love deeply, there can be a very detached or self-serving energy or motive or agenda. And as an empath, it hurts me, because you can feel like you're giving all this love and you're giving your energy, your essence to people you love and care about. And it can feel very it can feel sad or disappointing when you don't feel you're getting that level of energy and time and presence back from people. So I won't go into, there's more personal stuff around that, but I was talking about that warmth and that sweetness that I really felt up until recently. I had a lot of love and sweetness, and then things happened and shifted in my life, and I felt like I lost all that. And again, tough love. Why don't you be sweet to yourself? It was like, You know, this was the angels, the archangels. Why are you looking from others what you do not give yourself? You're not sweet to yourself, they said. You're hard on yourself. You are a taskmaster. And yeah, you've improved in the last few years, you know, you've definitely softened up on yourself a bit, and we're happy about that. But be your own honey keeper, you know, be your own source of kindness and sweetness and affection. Give it to yourself. You cannot extract from others what you do not have vibrating in your own energy field. And guys, I know this. I've been teaching classes on this and courses on this and one-to-one sessions for over 24 years or 5 years. I've lost track. Like, I know this stuff, but it's amazing how when we get caught up in the busyness of life, especially around Christmas, the consumerism, we lose our alignment when we get sucked into that very intentional vortex of consumerism. And I don't just mean buying stuff. I mean the consumerism of your consciousness, the currency of your attention. And there's a lot of distraction going on, guys. The drones. There's a lot of media distraction with the wars. And is it UFO? Is it not? Are the UAP, are they coming? Are they not? Is it Project Blue Beam? There's all that. The messages I'm getting around that is, it's trying to gauge and test the public's reaction. It's trying to see if people panic and go into a fear state. There was an experiment done in the United States of America I think it was 1938 or something like that was the timeline, the date, the year. I'm not 100% sure if that's correct. Correct me in the comments if you know the exact year. And they did this test, this experiment, and they announced over the airways that there'd been an alien invasion. And it was purely to gauge how people, how society managed that information. And it did cause panic, apparently. And they pulled the plug and said, right, people can't handle this. I think there's some of that going on. Now, I'm not saying all the sightings are government drones. I'm not saying that. There's loads of sightings of, UFOs that are genuine and that are not terrestrial, that are extraterrestrial, that are not of this place. But there is a lot of government distraction going on as well. And testing and experiments and new technologies being experimented with. We really are going into mega sci-fi times. And that's only going to accelerate in the next 5 to 10 years dramatically than anything we've seen before with technology. Like, we can't even predict or imagine the impact of that on us as a humanity, as a collective. But back to the message that I was asked to share about, how can you match kindness, sweetness, love, loving attention, presence in others if you're not giving that to yourself? I was very hard on myself this year because I had to give up my assumptions, my illusions, my fantasies about what I want in my life and how I expected my life to look by 43 years of age. I had to make peace with how things are instead of how my ego mind, my physical mind designed them to look like and wanted them to be. I've been too much in my physical mind, and some of you, there was a reason. This is a very selective message for someone. You're too much in your ego physical mind. There's the two minds. There's the higher mind, higher self, higher consciousness, and there's the ego physical mind. And the physical mind does not do a lot. It can't. It does not have the faculties or the tools to do a lot, except to what it does do well, the ego mind, the physical mind, is it's good at documenting your history, evidence of things to be afraid of. It's a survival game with that mind. It's trying to keep you alive. It's the reptilian brain. There's been a program, a frequency pumped into the atmosphere of this reptilian energy. And it's very easy to release that just before Christmas when people are in the darkness, internally or externally or both, and going into their inner world, their inner landscape in a bigger way. Get some water. I have to be real careful. I can't move my head much. Because a vertigo. It's like if you turn, you get a somersault and then it makes you want to throw up. So today is probably the best day I've had, guys. This reptilian program is much easier for the collective to buy into, and I use the word buy on purpose, or tap into, when they are distracted. When is the most distracted time of the year for humanity? Christmas, the holidays, Thanksgiving, all this kind of stuff. When truly, instead of running around, buying, consuming, stressing out, we should be going inside, internally, into the stillness and into the silence of the winter solstice energies. And the lead up to that is intense. If you've been going through intense experiences, even some depression, some loss, some anxiety, this is very connected to the winter solstice is doing its job. It's doing its work. We need time in our shadowlands, before the light can be reborn. And that's what the solstice is all about. It's about being reborn. It's about coming back into the light. But we can't access the light until we shed light on our shadows. And this year, there's a big theme of acceptance. I've had to accept that I didn't get to birth my beautiful children. I've had to accept that my life isn't where I thought it would be. Now, don't get me wrong here. This is not a pity party. I don't do pity parties. I have a good life, and I'm very blessed, and I am very grateful for all those blessings. But I've lost a lot of the certainties that I really enjoyed and cherished in my life. And Dr. Gabor Mate, I love him. Look him up if you don't know him. He is amazing. He is every bit as powerful as Yeshua as a master healer, but he's also a doctor, but he's amazing. Dr. Gabor Mate said one of the top stressors in a person's life, one of them is uncertainty. If you're living in a chronic state of uncertainty, and that uncertainty drags on for years, that's when we get sick. That's when our immune systems start to get tired. And I've had so many very serious health issues this year that I don't talk about. And I was actually meant to go back to hospital in a few weeks, and I cancelled it. I wouldn't be able to have the procedure because I'm so unwell. And the stress of having that procedure is not worth it to me. It's just not worth it. And I really felt my intuition was saying, cancel it. Everything's going to be okay, one step at a time. There's been a lot of health issues. So I was told that if you're feeling these symptoms leading up to the solstice, and I'm recording this on the solstice, you can expect relief. You can expect to feel better very soon. Because another thing I want to share, I have so much to share, but my energy is just low. Every winter solstice, the lead up to it, the weeks leading up to it, the darkness is at a peak. So the dark energy of this world is able to have more power over you. So it's really important not to go into fear and regret. Excuse me. It's really important, guys, to stay in love. And the lower frequencies of guilt or shame, they all come up now. And that's why at Christmas, there's a lot more deaths, natural deaths, timely deaths, because the soul just is like, okay, that's enough. There's also a lot more suicides, unfortunately. But once we reach solstice, that thinning of the veil where those dark energies can find holes in our energy field or in the energy of the collective to place these programs of fear and distraction and consumerism, it has less of a hold. The light is coming back. And that's why our ancestors celebrated winter, the solstices. They are powerful portals. Like, I'm mad that I didn't get to do my physical expression of the winter solstice. All my life, since I was a very little girl, I would do a dance for Yeshua, for Jesus. That was something I did. And it's like a private little thing. I'd light all the candles and dance around the Christmas tree and offer it as a gift. I was a great dancer. Still am, but don't do it as much as I did, which makes me sad sometimes because I love dancing. And I would do a ritual, but Ray and I were going to go up the mountains and do a hike and then do a ritual. The intentions, the focus you place today and moving forward. Right up on the 6th of January, by the way, is when the light really comes back into full power again. So take advantage of this time. Do your best to focus on love. Don't buy into fear and fearful dramas. You'll notice at Christmas there's an amplified focus on that stuff. Family dramas, family rows, people comparing each other's lives. There's a lot of shame or worthiness issues, confidence issues. We're inclined to go more inward. We're hibernation mode. Honor the reality, the truth of this energy, not what the media and society tells you should be, how your Christmas should be. And don't get sucked into that reptilian program, because that's what it is. And make no mistake, your energy is being harvested when you feed that, when you place your attention in that lower frequency stuff. And you know too much now. If you're in my membership, you're in a high frequency of consciousness and awareness. You're an alchemist. You are truly a light worker. You wouldn't be hearing this message. So, yeah, I just really wanted to share that, you know. The things that you're seeking in others, why don't you give it to yourself? And the thing is, when you give it to yourself, like, I've been forced to be kinder to myself. Like, I don't want you to think I'm not, I am kind to myself. I'm not like I'm not that bad. But this stillness has backed me into a corner of submission, of surrender. And I've had to, and I apologize to you guys who booked sessions and I had to cancel. It would not have been right for me to go ahead and have those sessions. And it wouldn't have been fair on me or you, because this has probably been one of the roughest well-being challenges I've had in years. And I've had quite a few. I've had some serious stuff happen to my health and diagnoses that I just choose not to give energy to in the last few years. But this has been so physically demanding of my attention. Like, I have to focus on one thing. Like, if that isn't symbolic of the energies and frequencies right now, I don't know what is. I don't know what is. Focus on the one thing that gives you relief, that gives you well-being and gives you joy, and that feeds the love in your life. And also having to let people take care of me. I'm not able to walk. I had to have people carry me into the toilet. Like, I've had to really surrender, and I'm an independent, like, I like to be doing my own thing. I don't like, I'm very physically embodied, and I love being active, and I love my workouts, and I've had to just surrender all that stuff and let myself receive the ease of being taken care of, That's a message for someone. You need to allow yourself to receive the care and receive the love. If you can't receive love, you can't give love. Listen to that. If you can't receive love, you cannot give love. You cannot be, if you can't be something, you can't experience it. And the amazing thing is, by being sweeter, kinder, more loving to myself, I'm getting that support and love reflected back to me everywhere. So I want to say thank you to each and every member. I want to say thank you to my subscribers for all the likes and support, especially throughout this year. And to my clients, I truly, truly care and love you. I truly do. I had a healer tell me that, you know, your spiritual children in a way are your clients. And I don't mean that as a disrespect. That's what was said to me, that I have the love of an unconditional love of like a mother to my clients. That's what she was saying. And I think that's very true. Allegiance to the spiritual path is no joke. And it does require us to be giving up of the social norms at times for some of us. And the very human side can have a conflict with that. So I just want to wish you happy holidays, solstice blessings, Merry, Merry Christmas, whatever you celebrate. And enjoy the light. Light a fire, light a candle, light sparklers. Do something to symbolize that you're on the side of the light and that you embrace all of it. Like, this is not about, you know, we're not doing the battles, we're not doing the war thing. It's about shining light on the shadows. We don't reject them, but we bring light into our hearts again. And we light up our bodies with the radiance of truth. And the truth is, there's nothing to fear. Truly, there's nothing to fear. We are the light. So we're remembering and becoming more of who we are. And the light in me on this very rainy, stormy, dark winter solstice recognizes the light in you. Thank you for allowing me to serve you in this way. Truly, it's been the dedication and devotion of my life. And no matter what happens with me, I will always do my best. I'll always show up for you as best I can and show up for humanity, because truly that's why I'm here. That's my purpose here. I'm really glad I was able to pull this off today. I hope you got some solace from the messages. I know I did. God bless.